If you're traveling across Nebraska today, you may come across the sound of thunder in the distance, but don't worry, that's not rain. Instead, hundreds of motorcycles and bikers rallying across Nebraska in support of fallen law enforcement. For those who answered the call, for those who lost their lives. I'm Troy Hobza. Welcome to Saturday Night Spotlight. We're here in Lincoln, Nebraska for the 6th Annual Nebraska Law Ride, brought to you by the Iron Warriors Motorcycle Club, Nebraska Chapter. Now today, East meets West, as bikers from Eastern Nebraska will meet with bikers from Western Nebraska in Grand Island, in a centralized location where they will pay honor to fallen law enforcement officers at the memorial in Fauner Park. Now what makes today's event so special? Come with me and we'll find out. Riders from across Nebraska were up at the crack of dawn this morning, fueling up for a good cause. Motorcyclists from numerous organizations took part to make the Law Ride bigger and better than ever before. We caught up with Jim Bierman, who was in the process of registering, and he gave us his outlook on today's event and how the Law Ride remembers those who have fallen. We're here now inside the Frontier Harley-Davidson building in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I have Jim Bierman here, who is the president of America's Guardians Club here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Now, Jim, tell us a little bit about today's law enforcement ride, and how did this come to be?
Today's ride is actually the memorial ride for the memorial up in Grand Island. It came through the Iron Warriors Motorcycle Club, who's a law enforcement club out of Omaha, Nebraska, actually nationwide. But they went ahead and they started raising money for the memorial itself, for maintenance and the names and things like that. It's a big event. This actually kicks off Law Enforcement Week, which starts Monday, of course. That's the reason why this event is today and tomorrow.
Now, I understand there's registration fees to be a part of the Law Ride?
Yes, and the reason why there's registration fee is because the $20 that they charge or that you donate to, actually it goes to the maintenance of the memorial itself.
Now, I understand last year the Law Ride brought in almost $20,000 to support the memorial in Fauner Park in Grand Island. So today's event is a huge event for that memorial for fallen law enforcement officers. Jim, what does today's event mean to you?
It's giving back to those people that lost their lives in the line of duty. There's no greater sacrifice than somebody who loses their life in the line of duty, and it's kind of our club's way of paying tribute to those that lost their lives.
Definitely. Jim, another question. You are the president of the America's Guardians Motorcycle Club. Tell me a little bit about the America's Guardians Club. Where are you guys? How were you founded? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
We were founded a little bit over 6 years ago out of Utah, actually. We're a law enforcement motorcycle club. We became a young law enforcement club for quite a while and decided to become a public safety club. A public safety club, for those people who don't understand, that's law enforcement, firefighter, and medical personnel. So it kind of opens up that road a little bit for everybody. And you see a lot of clubs out there for certain types, but we kind of want to go with that profession, that first responder profession, that those unsung heroes that you see all the time.
How many of America's Guardians are here today?
We actually, the Nebraska chapter's here. We had a chapter come up from Oklahoma, another chapter from Kansas. So altogether, probably about 25, 26 members. I'll go right after Grand Island today.
Awesome. The American Warriors weren't the only organizations that showed up to support the Iron Warriors' 6th annual Law Ride. Scattered across the parking lot were also members of the Centurions, the Blue Knights, the Hard Chargers, the Frontier chapter of Lincoln, the Reguladors, the Defenders, and even the Iron Warriors of the Iowa chapter. Frontier HD of Lincoln was only one of several hosts for this year's rally, but it made for the perfect location as a departure point for our eastern group. Frontier HD is just outside of Lincoln off I-80 and is a must-see for any Harley-Davidson fanatic. I managed to catch up with the owner of this beautiful facility to get a few comments as registration was underway.
Put it in the back of my truck and goes in and
Now we're here with Dave Fisher, who is the owner and manager of Frontier Harley-Davidson in Lincoln, Nebraska. And Dave, if you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about the law enforcement ride. How does this work?
Well, I have to say first of all that we're not the sponsor; we're just the host. So I don't have a lot of details for it. But for many years now, they've used our facility as a meeting up point. Some of them come from Omaha, others come from western Nebraska, and they all converge in Grand Island at the law enforcement memorial there. So we're always glad to have them and support law enforcement, and we expect them to be arriving any minute.
Now, Dave, how many years have you hosted the Nebraska Law Ride?
I have to admit I've lost track, but it seems to me this is the 4th or 5th year that's been going on.
What kind of a turnout are we looking at today?
It's hard to say, but the weather's nice. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see 200-300 motorcyclists roll in.
And we're going to take you outside as the bikers rally in here to Frontier HD in Lincoln before we take you to Grand Island, Nebraska for the Law Enforcement Memorial at Fauner Park. Let's go outside and check it out. All right, we're outside here with two more bikers for today's Nebraska Law Ride, Tim Knott and Landis Johnson, who are going to be taking part in today's event. Now, Tim, tell us a little bit about today's event. What does it mean to you, and how many years have you supported the Nebraska Law Ride?
This will be my 2nd year supporting the Law Ride. It's a good fun for the memorial out in Grand Island for all the brothers and sisters who've lost their lives in the line of duty.
And is this is what your...
It's my 2nd year.
It's your 2nd year.
Correct.
You got a lot of buddies out here taking part in the ride?
We got a few of us from our chapter here, so.
I guess we'll be seeing you in Grand Island at the Fauner Park Memorial for Fallen Law Enforcement, right?
Yes, you will.
We'll see you later.
All right.
Let's check out some more of the bikers for today's event. The Iron Warriors are just one chapter of 44, representing approximately 600 members in 20 states. Over the past decade, the club has immensely benefited communities with helping those in need. Now we're here on the eastern leg of this rally as we're awaiting the Omaha bikers who will rendezvous here in Lincoln. Then, as a whole, we will all disperse for Grand Island, Nebraska to Fauner Park for the Memorial of Fallen Law Enforcement. In fact, here they come now. I'm here with Lupe Lopez, who is the president of the Iron Warriors Motorcycle Club Nebraska chapter. And Lupe is actually going to be overseeing today's rally. Lupe, tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
Well, one of our club members decided to have a riding for donations that goes towards the Law Enforcement Memorial Wall in Grand Island. So we're meeting people in Omaha, and then they're coming here. And then here shortly we'll be leaving, going to Grand Island, and then we're going to meet up with the Western group that started out in Sydney. And we'll go from Grand Island right there at the Walmart parking lot and head up to Fauner Park to the Law Enforcement Memorial, where we'll have people there giving out a little speech, thanking everybody's involvement.
All right, so I understand you're going to be giving a little safety speech here before everybody takes off. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. What we're doing right now is we're going to go ahead and do a safety brief so everybody understands what our expectation is, so we can safely get to Grand Island and make all the riders down there, and then we'll meet up with everybody and we'll go into the park.
One final question before we take off here. Will everybody leave as one big group, or will we be going in little intervals, or how's this going to work?
We're going to break it down into small groups, going into intervals, so it'll be manageable for safety reasons, and also to allow other vehicles out there on the interstate the access going in and out of the exit ramps out there.
What about police escort? Do you do police escort at all?
No, not anymore. For policy reasons, whatever they decided not to do that for us, and which is fine. Well, we have members from our club that are assigned for each group and ensure that we get there in one piece.
All right, Lupe, thanks for your time. I tell you what, let's hit the road, should we?
Okay, we're getting ready.
With hundreds of bikers now disbanding for Grand Island Fauner Park, we're going to take you on the road with this rally when Saturday Night Spotlight returns. Start your engines, because when we come back, East meets West as we hit the road across Nebraska to meet up with the west leg of our rally and pay respect to fallen law enforcement. There's more Saturday Night Spotlight when we return.
It doesn't matter what you say.
We'd like to thank Shannon Richardson's band for the use of Crashing Down, the official theme song of Saturday Night Spotlight.
We are the black sheep.
Coming up next, we hit the streets of Grand Island as we talk to some of the riders from the west leg of our rally. Then later in our show, it's full throttle for the memorial of fallen law enforcement. Don't go anywhere because you don't want to get left behind when Saturday Night Spotlight returns.
Play track 1. Built by all of us, for all of us. The next Harley-Davidson motorcycles.
We're back here on Saturday Night Spotlight, and as you can see over here behind me, our biker rally has officially taken over the streets of Grand Island. Now we're here at our local Walmart parking lot, where East meets West. Bikers from eastern Nebraska have officially rendezvoused with bikers from western Nebraska here in Grand Island. And here shortly, we'll disband for Fauner Park to the Law Enforcement Memorial. Now, we're going to go talk to some of the bikers from western Nebraska now. Let's go. The River City chapter of the Iron Warriors Motorcycle Club, which is based in Omaha, Nebraska, hosted this year's ride to raise awareness and money for the Law Enforcement Memorial, which honors more than 130 Nebraska officers who've died in the line of duty. The club is a non-profit organization of active duty and retired law enforcement officers and firefighters who provide assistance and support to communities, departments, and the families of fallen officers and firefighters. Since the ride began over 6 years ago, more than 600 motorcyclists have raised over $22,000 for the upkeep of the memorial. The event has hosted riders from across Nebraska, as well as Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Wyoming, Colorado, and even Texas. All right, we're out here now. We are now joined by our group from the West. And can I get your name?
Brent.
Brent, how far did you travel today?
About 270 miles.
Where'd you come from?
Sydney, Nebraska.
Sydney, Nebraska. That's a long ways out there.
It's not too bad.
Hey, so is this your first year participating in the Law Ride?
It is.
What made you decide to join the Law Ride this year?
Well, I'm a veteran and I support law enforcement.
Awesome. And what group are you here with?
Centurions, LEMC.
Awesome. Hey, it's for a great cause. Hope you guys have fun today. And of course, all proceeds of today's event go towards the memorial for fallen law enforcement out at Fauner Park. So we're going to be heading on out to Fauner Park here shortly. Hope to see you there.
All right, thank you.
As swarms of motorcyclists filed into our rendezvous point, it was almost time to head out to Fauner Park for the ceremony. I managed to catch up with a few more Law Ride supporters as we prepared to disperse for Fauner Park. Some riders came from hours away to support the cause. All right, we're here now with another biker from the West, Adam Ferricks. And Adam, where are you from today?
I'm from Lodgepole, Nebraska.
Lodgepole, Nebraska. And what made you take part in the Law Ride this year?
I'm a deputy sheriff with the Cheyenne County Sheriff's Office in Sydney, Nebraska. This is my second year doing the Law Ride.
Second year doing the Law Ride?
Yep.
And do you know anybody in law enforcement that might have lost their lives in the line of battle?
Yeah, the chief from eastern Nebraska that passed away last year. I'd met him a couple of times.
Well, Adam, we appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much.
Everything's going for a good cause today, and of course all the proceeds of today's event are going to benefit the Law Enforcement Memorial out at Fauner Park, so we'll see you out there. All right, I just found two biker chicks, one from Sydney, Nebraska, and another one that come all the way from Wyoming. Can I get your girls' names?
My name's Lisa. Amber.
Lisa and Amber. Lisa, I'll start with you. What's significant about the Law Ride to you? Why did you take part in the Law Ride this year?
Well, I took part in the Law Ride this year because it does benefit a very good cause, and it does help those out there, and it's just an awesome experience. Awesome. My husband's in the law enforcement, and, you know, I want to pay tribute to those who have fallen. So.
And how about you?
Awesome, thanks. Yes, the same thing. It's very, very nice to be in remembrance of those who have fallen, and obviously they're on the memorial. It's very special, and it's a great cause to come out and support everybody and have a good time.
And of course, everyone out here today knows someone who has fallen in the line of duty, and that is why we're here today, to remember and pay tribute to those people who have lost their lives in the line of duty. And of course, all of the proceeds go towards benefiting the Law Enforcement Memorial here at Fauner Park in Grand Island. Well, I want to thank you ladies for being here today.
Thank you.
For a great cause, and we'll see you out at Fauner Park.
Sounds good. We'll be there.
Still to come, we take you out to Fauner Park to the Memorial of Fallen Law Enforcement as hundreds of riders from across the Midwest unite to pay respect to those who gave their lives. Drop that remote and sit back down. There's more Saturday Night Spotlight coming up next.
Change the world.
In Nebraska, on average, there are 3,500 distracted driving collisions every year. Over the past 4 years, that has resulted in 174 deaths and over 14,000 injuries on Nebraska's roads, all because a driver was distracted. If you're driving, why allow yourself to be distracted for 1 second when the road demands every moment of your attention? Because if you do find yourself distracted while driving, you might also find yourself wishing you hadn't been. For the safety of yourself and others, don't text and drive. Limit the use of cell phones to emergencies only. But why am I telling you this? You wouldn't be the one responsible for causing an accident like this. We'd like to thank Shannon Richardson's band for the use of Crashing Down, the official theme song of Saturday Night Spotlight. And this is what it's all about. The Nebraska Law Enforcement Memorial right here at Fauner Park. Now here momentarily we'll be joined by hundreds of riders who have rallied from east to west across Nebraska, all with one goal: to raise money for the maintenance and upkeep of this beautiful memorial here behind me. Retired Sarpy County Sheriff's Lieutenant Russ Zeeb, president of the Nebraska Law Enforcement Memorial Committee, said 3 names: Amanda Baker, William E. Ransom, and Frederick J. Schlote, will be added to the wall during this year's ceremony. Amanda Baker, just 24 years of age, was a corrections officer who was killed February 16th at the Scotts Bluff County Detention Center by an inmate. Zeeb also went on to say that Ransom and Schlote are being added after historical research. Ransom was a special agent with the Union Pacific Railroad who was killed in Wahoo in 1893. The third individual, Frederick J. Schlote, also lost his life in the line of duty back in the 1960s. The Iron Warriors Motorcycle Club would like to thank all the sponsors that helped make the 6th Annual Nebraska Law Ride a huge success. Cabela's, world's foremost outfitter. Budke's Harley Davidson in North Platte. Dillon Brothers HD of Omaha. Frontier Harley Davidson of Lincoln. Holiday Inn, pleasing people the world over. Pepsi, the world's leading cola. Super Saver, employee owned. And by Harley Davidson Central of Grand Island.
We are the sweetest and you're welcome in the leave before the morning. 'Cause we are the crazy ones, the mavericks, the dreamers, the forgotten sons. We color outside the lines for fun. We are the crazy ones. 'Cause we are the crazy ones, the badass outcasts on our guns. We march to the beat of a different drum. We are the crazy
This year
ones.
marks the 6th Annual Nebraska Law Ride and has become a tradition to the Cornhusker State, as well as those who support law enforcement. Now, this year's event being bigger than ever, Senator Charles Jensen decided to make his way out here to Fauner Park and is expected to speak here shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you once again for making it out here to the Law Enforcement Memorial for our 6th Annual Nebraska Law Ride. It's amazing to see how many groups have come to support this, and it's just outstanding that over the last 6 years, well, the last 5 years, we've raised over $19,000 coming out to support the memorial for people who gave their lives in the line of duty. So that round of applause is for you who come out and continually support the memorial, so thank you. And this year, obviously, we'll easily get over that $20,000 mark, so that's amazing to be able to raise this money for the perpetual upkeep of the memorial, so thank you again. I'm not going to talk too long because I know Senator Jansen has things to do. He's got to make it to Blair this evening. So I want to introduce our guest speaker this afternoon, who is Senator Charles Jansen. He represents District 15 and is also a candidate for state auditor. So let's put your hands together for Senator Jansen.
Thank you. I thought I was in a little bit of trouble there, because usually only my mom calls me Charles, and that's when I'm in trouble. So I feel okay now. I'm very humbled that I actually got invited to speak at this event. I'm the state senator from Fremont. At the time, I think I was running for governor or something, at the time. I got invited here, and I got back to Brian and I said, hey, do you still want me to come? And he's like, yes, we absolutely want you to come, and we would love to hear from you. So that means a lot to me. Now, I also appreciate that you all were busy riding your motorcycles here today, because I got a little bit of a late start and I may have compromised some of our laws of the road on the way here. May or may not have. So I appreciate none of you being out there today, which helped me greatly get here on time today. This is the second time I've been to this memorial, and the first time obviously I've got a chance to speak at it. And when I look at this, and I thought about what I wanted to talk about today, it wasn't politics, that's for sure. In fact, I'll be very happy after Tuesday has come and gone. And then we don't have to hear all these ads and all those signs will be gone. But it reminds me of every year in Fremont, even before I was on the city council there, before that, every year I would show up at the Vietnam Memorial we have in Dodge County. And they asked me to speak at that every single year. I'm a military veteran, Persian Gulf War veteran, did 2 combat tours there. So that's very personal to me when you talk about being a veteran. And going into combat kind of changes your perspective on life, especially when you're 19 years old. And then I started thinking about, well, law enforcement, you don't know every single shift that you go out and serve. You don't know if you're coming home. And I've been there in the Persian Gulf. And I know spouses have been there. They don't know if their husband or wife are going to come home. And so the great amount of courage it takes of you and personal pride is something I felt in the military, but something that you do for your entire life, and that's your living. I did it for 4 years. So for that, I personally applaud you all. I would like to ask, though, while I'm here, are there any of you here that happen to serve in the military as well? Please stand, raise your hand and be recognized. Thank you. Are there any Marines here? All right, if you guys need a ride home, I was in the Navy. I could probably get you there. You guys do the fighting. We just go out and we eat home-cooked meals. Hey, I'm not disagreeing. I appreciated it. Thanks for doing the fighting there. You know, as I look around and you look at these names, you know, it obviously harkened back to me even in D.C. the Vietnam Memorial. In Dodge County, we have one just of the Dodge County residents that perished in that conflict, which is a war. But as you read those names, and we lost one this last year, and you never know when it's going to happen, but unfortunately, we all know it's going to happen. What I like to think about is, we drove by a cemetery on the way in here, and I think about the people that aren't in that cemetery prematurely because of what you do every day and every night, going out, serving and protecting our communities across this state in various manners. And that's something that people don't think about a lot. You know, generally what we're thinking about is what I said earlier, about those lights coming up behind you because you're going about 5 miles over the speed limit. But we forget about what you do. And even the preventative aspect. I can tell you as a kid growing up in a small town, our Dodge County Sheriff, they knew all of us kids in that town. And they would tell us, you know, hey, we think you're a good kid. Hey, you're messing up here. This is going wrong. This is going wrong. They were really mentors to us. And that's what I see for law enforcement, really leading people down the right path. Because I know you don't want to pick people up. I mean, that's absolutely not. That's the last thing you want to do. But there are bad guys out there. And sometimes, absolutely, you have to. And the job that you do in Nebraska, as I've seen over the last 6 years as a state senator, when it comes to my office and they say, hey, you're the state patrol or this agency, when I was on the Fremont City Council, this agency, hey, we need some funding for, we need more officers, we need this. I've always been very open and generally for it. to enforce the laws. Drug task force, that's big in Fremont right now. We've got a great one. We fund it appropriately, and we fund our officers appropriately. It's never good enough. I certainly understand that. I was in the military, and it was never good enough. But I'm not here to take all your time today. I just wanted to say thank you very much, and I truly mean that, for your daily sacrifice, husband and wives of the officers that go out there every day, because you never know. You just never know what's around that next corner. And I think you're the best police force in this nation, and you'll continually have my support in any elected office that I'm in. And I'd appreciate an invite back here. And let's make it our goal to make sure that this wall doesn't get any bigger. God bless. Thank you.
All right. As Senator Jensen mentioned, there is a name going to be added this year, and that is of Corrections Officer Amanda Baker, who was 24 years old, who was at the Scotts Bluff County Detention Center, was killed by a 16-year-old inmate there. The other two names that will be added are those of William E. Ransom and Frederick Schlote. And after much historical research, it was determined that they earned a place on this wall. William Ransom was a special agent with the Union Pacific Railroad who was killed in Wahoo in 1893. And it was determined then that Frederick Schlote, who was a marshal in Oconto, was killed in the late 60s, and so he has also earned his place on the wall. So as Senator Jansen mentioned, we don't want this wall getting any bigger, but like he said, it's the inevitable. So our continued support of the wall and what we do on a yearly basis doesn't compare to what you do on the daily basis, as he mentioned. So again, thanks for coming out to support the ride. I'm going to turn things over to Taz, who is our president of the Iron Warriors, so I'll let him finish things up this afternoon.
First of all, I want to make sure that we thank Almighty upstairs for the making it out here. Usually I run at the very end, making sure that if we have any stragglers coming up here, accidents or anything like that, I can go ahead and handle. Every year we've made it up here in one piece and everything. Also appreciate his ability to give us all the strength and the courage and the charity to bring everybody up here. It's not very hard or easy for each of us to get away from our families, any other activities that we might be doing this weekend. But you came out here and supported this cause, which I think personally is a very good cause that we can go ahead and maintain every year we go on in here. I also want to thank each of the club members here for their contribution in one way or another. We have a lot of people that want to come out and support us, and that is great. I personally want to thank each and individual club members for doing that. We'll take it any way we can. One way is by signing up and donating your entry fee for this. You can also obtain more donations from outside your chapter and get them and bringing them up to the Law Enforcement Memorial Wall. But also I want to make sure that I don't miss the individuals that come out here that are not part of a club, but they're part of Nebraska. I'm not from Nebraska myself, but the times that I have been here, I've seen it where people here are very charitable. They care about their people, their next door neighbors. They actually like to say hello to law enforcement officers every once in a while. And that's great. And that's what I like about the individuals that have come out here on their own to donate their time as well as their money here. I also like to kind of add a little tidbit here from the donations that we have received from some of the FOPs. The Omaha FOP, the La Vista FOP Lodge 28, and Douglas County FOP number 2. They went ahead and donated some money. They weren't able to bring representatives, but they went ahead and donated some money into this organization so we can go ahead and pass it on to the Law Enforcement Memorial Foundation. Also, if you have the time, and I know if you've already taken too much out here on Saturday, and then tomorrow we have Mother's Day, Monday at 10 o'clock, right here at the same place, that's when the memorial, they're going to have one where they'll go ahead and have a lot more people here. And at that time, anybody else that wants to donate money to that wall, they can go ahead and show up. But it's at 10 o'clock on Monday. So basically, I just want to thank everybody, each and individually out here, for coming out and helping us support, I think, which is a worthy cause. And I appreciate everybody's assistance and keeping and maintaining this thing safe. The last thing I always want to make sure is that we come out here together, we show up, and then we can go home to our loved ones, if you have any, and you can go ahead and enjoy yourself on Mother's Day. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We all know someone who works in law enforcement. A brother, maybe a father, a sister, or a mother. From those of us here at Saturday Night Spotlight, it was an honor to be a part of the 6th Annual Nebraska Law Ride. And we would like to thank all the young men and women for their dedication and service, for all they've done and for all they continue to do. May their legacies live on forever.